NGANNOU versus Blades. That match is peculiar to me right off the bat because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't totally get it. Why are these two fighting each other? What is this all about? And they had fought before, and Blades lost to him. So I'm guessing without actually having been told, maybe because Blades is the worst promoter in the history of the sport, but I would assume that he wants to get that one back, that he wants to right the wrong, if you will, and that he asked for this fight. I don't know. Whatever the story is behind, I can assure you, Curtis Blades will never, ever in a million years let us know or give us some reason to tune in for his fight. So I'm guessing that that's what it's all about, which I like. I think it's an interesting story. But NGANNOU is also a very interesting character that needs to be studied. He's got to be studied what happened there, okay? NGANNOU turned out to be a flash in the pan, which sounds very insulting. It's not meant to be. It's the reality that he turned out to be a flash in the pan. Nobody had come in with more hype than him in recent memory, and maybe ever. He had the full steam of the company behind him, who thought he was going to go on, capture the world championship, and run with it for a meaningful period of time. And they let you know that. They were more than happy to come out and tell you, this is the guy. This is the guy that's going to grab the crown and move us through the next decade. So when those things just simply did not happen, he was then given another very good spot. It was a co-main event spot, but it was on what was projected to be a very big card, biggest card of the year projection-wise, of Cormier versus Stipe. And he ends up getting booed out of the building. And after that happened, that was his fight with Derek Lewis. After that happened, he had a real come-to-terms moment, and I appreciated it. I thought, okay, things are going to get a lot better because he is now saying all of the right things, which is just simply the truth. He's having a counseling session, but he's doing it through the media, and he's told all of us, man, I was scared to death. I was scared to death in that Derek Lewis fight. I was having memories of what Stipe did to me, took me down, held me there, beat on me, and I didn't have an answer for it. And I just did not want to feel that way again. Well, that was very helpful, and even though that may look bad, and the result did yield something negative for him, like anybody with a problem, admitting the problem is the first step to recovery. So I liked that. I thought this is a good sign. It's a very good sign. Now he's going to go back in there and step in with Curtis Blades. And where that gets interesting to me is, first off, why are we doing the fight? If I'm right in my hypothesis that Curtis Blades is pushing for it and would like to do this match, if I'm right in that, where does that leave NGANNOU with a loss? He would go from number one contender within the last 12 months to 3 losses in a row, which would make him eligible for release. So what does he do? Was it meant to be a favorable matchup for NGANNOU? With that, I have a problem. First off, he's beat Blades before, so maybe there's a level of confidence, and he was happy to go in there and try it again. But the style, he has failed at twice in a row. And the style, first and foremost, we're just talking about a guy that can wrestle. I mean, that's what we saw in the Stipe fight. We saw a guy that was able to take the other guy down, being NGANNOU, keep him there, beat on him, stack up the rounds. In many ways, that's the same thing that he faced against Derek Lewis. And even though Derek Lewis did not opt to wrestle and very little happened in that contest, in many ways was the same matchup, which also yielded, whether those techniques were used or not, a negative result. So the fact that NGANNOU is going to step into that same kind of a style, a long, durable, younger, tough guy in Blades who can wrestle. It's interesting. It's interesting what NGANNOU's mindset would be, particularly after he removed the curtain and let us all in on it. Let us all in on the fact that he was worried, that he believed his own hype, that he thought he was invincible, that he found out he was not, that he has a kryptonite, and now he's going to step in with that similar style for a third time in a row after the first two did not go well. That could be interpreted as a Barry NGANNOU statement by me and narrative. I see it just the opposite. I see it as a very brave and courageous move by NGANNOU for him to go in there against that same style that he's had a deficit against over the last 12 months and try it out a third time means, if I'm interpreting this correctly, that he is in the gym, that he is working on the things that he feels he needs to do to plug the hole in the boat. I think that there's a real honor in that. I thought there was a tremendous honor when Conor McGregor did that, when he lost to Nate Diaz and said, Dana, give me a rematch. And Dana said, all right, but here, we'll do it down at your weight class at 155. And Conor goes, no. We're going to do it the exact same. Same rules, same opponent, same arena, same weight class, same everything. I don't want any excuses. I want to try to beat him. I want to try to overcome those obstacles in the same setting. And then when he did, I thought it was a really honorable and courageous and showed a lot of character. It really told us a lot about Conor McGregor, the person. And I think that perhaps NGANNOU should be giving that same credit. I think, and I'll never know, because NGANNOU isn't going to tell us, and Curtis Blaydes sure as hell isn't going to give us any kind of fun, any kind of a reason to watch his fights. So I'm left to guess. But I think if you're going to give NGANNOU the credit that I feel he deserves for taking on that same kind of a skill set that's given him problems in the past, then you also have to give that same credit to Curtis Blaydes, because Curtis Blaydes did come up with the silver medal the last time those two went out there and fought. So Curtis Blaydes has to overcome his own mental and physical deficits of dealing with NGANNOU specifically, and the fact that he's willing to do that and is going to walk out there for a second time against a guy that he didn't make it the duration with, I think there's an honor in that for him too. I think we're learning something about Curtis Blaydes here, regardless of his inability to promote his own contests. From a physical standpoint and from a character standpoint, that seems to me what a real competitor would do. And I want to make sure that Curtis also gets his credit for that, because he appears to be a real competitor. And I like the match. I do like it. I like to see, am I right? Is NGANNOU working on things in the gym? Can he stop Curtis? Can he keep it on his feet like he did before and touch him up? The other side of that coin, I don't feel that we're going to see the same Curtis Blaydes. I don't think that Curtis Blaydes was armed with the information that he has now in terms of the power of NGANNOU and the reasons that you don't want to stay on your feet in front of that guy throwing hands back and forth. I just think Curtis just simply did not know what strategy he should use, and I think that he has a confidence in it now. Can he go out and do it? That's really what it comes down to. And if the answer is yes, if Curtis Blaydes can just go tackle him and keep him there and beat on him, it's not going to be wonderful. It's not going to be wonderful for NGANNOU. And why he would be eligible for release with his third loss, I don't believe that he would get it. I certainly don't hope that he would be released, but I also don't know that he would be. I think there's plenty of fun things you can do with him. It would just steer us in the direction of he's not going to be a contender, and we have to pick his matches a little more carefully. If you guys were to say, after this fight, by example, and NGANNOU loses, and you guys were to call for his resignation or vice versa, his pink slip and his release. Okay, great. But what if I was to tell you before we did that NGANNOU was going to fight Mark Hunt? Right? Do you guys see the difference there where all of a sudden you go, oh, wait a minute. That would be pretty fun. That would be pretty interesting. So there are some guys that just have to be matched up accordingly. Mark Hunt may well be one of those guys. And I don't know that there's anything wrong with that. Over a period of time, once you realize a guy is not a contender, and largely in the big promotions of Bellator and the UFC, they are about finding contenders. Largely, 95%, but not 100. There's still room. There's still room for those vets. There's still room for those recognizable names. There's still room for those guys that are very, very fun to watch when they are matched up with other guys that have a like mindsets and skill sets, and they're going to go out and be good dance partners for one another.